My fears were true. Why did I always fight my instinct for the truth? It doesn't matter. Now I journey through it, and toward it, and may I soon venture beyond it. Charred remnants of my old childhood home, that's all there was as I passed through. Left as a symbol, I'm sure. Wolfram always did love reminding me that when he found me, I was living in filth. Couldn't see my own beauty. You're not like the other queens, he had said. I will never forgive myself for smiling at that. He did always pride himself on his ability to separate the wheat from the chaff. I will never forgive myself for smiling at that either. My only comfort now being he clearly sees Sabrina as his most prized crop. So I continue my journey. At this point, I've passed more bodies than I can count. They say if you sleep on the salt flats, you die. But most of these seem more to me like they're waiting to die. Glassy-eyed, between worlds. Did they lay down on purpose? I scavenge what I can while the vultures fly above, waiting for a taste. And I find myself thinking, they seem like they might be tasty too.
Wake up to the job of the bell. No sweat, now I'm feeling swell. Gee golly, it's a beautiful day. I'm gonna burn my troubles away. I'm going nuclear, light up the town. The walls that hold me, I'm melting down. I'm rising up like a mushroom cloud. I'm going nuclear, light up this town. That's right.
My family made like a ransom note to send to our cousins as like an invite to a birthday party or something.
Is
like
this
that.
a thing you should be admitting on the record?
Yeah, I was just trying to. It was like a joke thing.
Oh, sure it was.
Man,
sure
that had
it
to have
was.
been so much. Yeah, no, we didn't mean it.
When the cops come around, is that what you tell them? It was just a joke. It was secretly a birthday invite. It definitely wasn't a real threat.
I pretend to be a mime, and they have no evidence to the contrary. And legally, you can't make a mime testify in court.
Yes, we all know that's the law.
And that's anti-disestablishmentarianism, I believe.
Okay, so last we left the adventure, the party had been searching Harp City for smugglers. You came across people who were smuggling drugs, but Khorton cut a deal with them. You came across a grisly scene at a dentist's office, and you left that problem behind to be someone else's problem. And then you went to a fish market where Vindrass botched and was abducted, and then Sabrina started yelling she was looking for smugglers, at which point the team was taken captive.
Yeah, Vindrass got kidnapped for like the billionth time in like 4 episodes.
So we'll check out on Vindrass in a minute because she has been snatched up and taken to a higher floor by an unseen
Hooray!
unseen Aarakocra, which are the bird folk.
It's another episode in which I don't have to think about the fighting at the start. I can let everyone else work out what the strong and weak techniques are, and then I can just swoop in at the last minute. This works for me.
So we joined the party. Currently, they have been taken. They haven't been harmed because Sabrina succeeded on her persuasion check. She said, "We're looking for smugglers," and then all the smugglers came out and escorted you into a back room away from the front-facing part of the market. You're taken, in fact, into a small metal room. It probably was a freezer at some point in the post-apocalypse. They have to like bring in like magical. Basically like never melting ice cubes instead of it being run by electricity. But this just place is heaped high with fish heads. There's guts on the floor. It's a pretty gross place for you all to be. So these guards here are anthropomorphic shrikes. They're bird people. They each have like rapiers basically on their hips, but they aren't threatening you. They take your visible weapons, which is the heck bow and Khorton's sword, but they don't like shake you down and take all your items or anything. And you're led in here where the boss of these smugglers is a large pelican in a dapper suit. chomping a cigar. He eyes you all with a tone of superiority. So before we start this conversation, I want to note something, which is that last episode, Khorton, you went into the drug den and you failed your Constitution saving throw.
Right.
So you got a face full of whatever they were smoking in there.
I am high as fuck.
Exactly, and we didn't really work.
It's going to be a stretch for me.
We didn't really workshop the effects of whatever you inhaled. I think now is a good time to do that because I want you to, whatever the effects of this drug are, I want them to manifest in this conversation, and you'd like to take the lead boldly. I don't know if this means you're going to be like fast talking and erratic or like hallucinating and grandiose. This is kind of up to you what kind of role-playing choice you want to make. But I think it'd be very funny if it takes a while for it to kick in on humans, and now is when suddenly the ride begins.
Right, gentlemen. I'm sure we can come to some sort of an agreement.
The Pelican Dawn chomps his cigar, looks at you, and says, "Hey, what are you trying to do?"
Whoa. Not all at once, guys.
What?
I'm going to need you to speak to me one at a time, or else we're not going to get anything resolved.
The Pelican looks at his Shrike guards quizzically, and they all shrug, and he says, "Hey, I'm just trying to, why are you coming into my place? You're yelling about some crime and stuff. You don't need to draw that kind of attention."
Whoa, sorry. Okay, you all are, like, really, like, do all three of them have to talk in unison? It's very loud.
Can I roll an insight check?
On Khorton?
No, on the Pelican dude.
Yeah, he already knows. She already knows Khorton's weird.
Yeah, 17.
With a 17, Sabrina, you notice that these people's demeanor is something you've seen at people who come to the castle and want an audience with your father, which is to say these people want to make deals, is what these people want.
Oh, okay.
Okay, look, can I just talk to the purple one? Like,
hey, what's this guy's problem?
He's weird.
Okay, all right, fine. The green one it is. Now, listen. We don't want to disrupt any sort of, like operations that you've got going on here. Actually, we're here to let you know that some heat's coming on you.
Yeah, you all come bringing the heat with you everywhere you go. You out running around town.
And we'd love to leave town. Nothing we'd like more than to leave town. It's just there's this thing. We can't leave town unless we find a smuggler. I know it's stupid, right?
Well, maybe we can help each other out here, see?
Okay, all right, blue guy, I gotcha. All right, let's hear it. What kind of arrangement can we work out? Because all I need is one smuggler.
Now listen, we want you out of the city. We want to keep doing what we're doing. We want the government to look the other way. You want to leave the city, and you want what? What do you need?
Actually, it's funny you should mention that. I'm setting up a little spot. A place for like-minded individuals who aren't necessarily in favor of the current social order. You get what I'm throwing down here?
You're a revolutionary.
You trying to convert the pelican?
I like to have a lot of wives. My point is...
No, I see. No, I get you.
What I'm thinking is I'm gonna be needing a place that's gonna be able to be separated from a lot of these other problems, and a place would be very welcome to an individual like yourself who might need to pass through safely at some point in time. I've got the spot worked out. We're just gonna need some supply runs.
Yeah, we could hook you up with some supplies. We got people coming and going, all kinds of settlements.
And we get the fuzz off you, and, best of all, we leave town.
All right, here's what let's do. All right, we'll hook you up. We got a brand new salt skiff, state of the art. All right, it's got the armor, it's got the clear coat. Mwah, you can't believe how good this thing looks. We'll hook you up with supplies. You go, you do your weird perversion shit. It's fine with me. All right. All we need is you to maybe, plant some evidence to get the king and his bastards off us. You know what I'm saying?
Great. Just show me where to plant. Got a real green thumb.
Okay, so Sabrina and Lola, I want to make what's happening very clear here. You were offered assault skiff by Young, and so you would have aligned with him and I guess Marcel kind of tangentially. That's one path you could go, basically working for this bad government who is under the God King. Or you could throw in with a criminal element and work against them. And kind of, basically what's happening here is the season has a big fork. Either you can try to take down the God King from the inside his organization, or you can become basically post-apocalyptic raiders.
See, I'm gonna level here. I'm down for either, honestly. I don't got no ties to the God King. He can suck my dick. But, Sabrina, I think maybe you might have a stake in this, right? White Wolf, not Sabrina, whose name I don't know, even though we already established I know it.
So as Khorton's making that deal, Sabrina's just going to walk up to him and say, "Wait, we don't need a boat. We already have one. The Romance Dawn with with my first mate Young."
But this boat will be new and shiny and can also be yours.
But I already made a deal with Young.
And you do not need to keep that deal. You are the White Wolf. You lead alone.
But it's also okay if you do want to make that deal. There's nothing wrong with sticking to your guns.
I don't want to betray Young. And I don't want to plant evidence that gets Marcel in trouble.
Can I just say this is a great conversation to have in front of the crime boss that wants to make the deal.
Actually, I think the Pelican will speak up and say, "Hey, listen, it's hard out here. Everybody's got to eat. You know, sometimes people got to go to jail. It's fine. It's just make sure it's not you. You know what I'm saying?"
Exactly. Make sure it's not us.
And listen, these Thrycreen, yeah, they're oppressed by the government. It's terrible, but, you know, it's no excuse to work with them. This young fella, I've seen him around. He's hanging with the God King's bastard, you know? You don't want that kind of collaboration?
I like them. They're nice. And I feel bad because I feel like I broke things in there at some point. But I made their job a lot harder, and I don't want to anymore.
That sounds like some Thrycreen racism, mister.
Hey, listen, I ain't up here about no racism. I am anti-government, you know? I'm trying to take down these corrupt fat cats.
Well, but then if you're not, discriminatory towards the Thrycreen, why'd you specifically say you can't trust those Thrycreen? I am just saying.
Because we're working with the Wolframs. You seen it.
Not all of them, yo. We say yo now.
We say yo now. He's just specifically pointing out that although the Thrycreen are an oppressed people, the ones you're working with are basically like collaborating with the government, and the government is corrupt. So he's implying that, they can't be trusted.
He said it in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't trust him.
We're not here to trust him. We're here to get a boat that's ours with no strings attached to a government that will betray us immediately.
But there's also something to say for sticking, keeping your promises, returning a kindness when somebody's showed you a kindness.
I made no promises.
Well, that's fair.
If the White Wolf wants her boat, she can have it.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm on her side here. There's something to be said for being honest and sticking to what you said you'd do, and
Really, there's something to be said for being honest, Lola Beans.
Not telling you my secret is not lying. I did lie about what my secret was.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think I ever said I would tell you guys, so technically I didn't break my word.
Uh-huh. Look, if you two want to ride off on your little skiff, you go ahead. I have bigger plans than this anyway.
Like what?
Well, I don't know that it matters anymore to you.
Sabrina seems genuinely hurt by that.
The Pelican speaks up and says, "Hey, listen, y'all gotta agree on this. Can't let some collaborators go and some not. You know what I'm saying? The only way people can keep a secret is if everyone's dead. You know what they say?"
They do say that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying I've got any love for the God King, but I think
No, that sounds exactly like what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is that maybe we should consider that Sabrina here has a more vested interest in this potential than we do.
Oh, a vested interest in a father who cares so little for her that he just lets her run off to find the mother that abandoned her so long ago.
It's not my father's boat. It's gonna be my boat.
This could be your boat. I don't need it. I just need to get out of town and set up my post.
What did Young do to you?
Nothing. He's not my problem. He's a collaborator.
Just because your parents are shitty to you doesn't mean it's not going to be hard for you to decide to potentially betray them. And I think it's only right to let her make the decision with her feelings with that in mind.
In the background of this scene, you can just hear Vindrass very quietly in the distance, just like, just drifting on the wind.
Why are you so attached to this child? Stranger who just showed up.
Because somebody's gotta show her what's right. And
She seems to be capable of doing just fine on her own. So what's your interest?
I have sympathy.
What am I thinking about right now?
Uh-huh.
He's implying that you have psychic powers and can read his mind.
I don't know. You're thinking, oh, I'm Khorton. I'm being a jerk because I don't want to be helpful.
I was thinking about oral, actually, but that's...
All right, Vindrass, how are you?
I don't know. How am I? How am I being treated by my captors? Is this like I've just been left in a room and left, or like am I the waterboarding started?
Oh no, this is a comedy show.
I don't know what end of the scale we're on.
No, so Vindrass, you were walking through the fish market, and a trapdoor opened above you into the floor above, and just two bird arms reached down and grabbed you and yanked you up into the next floor. And so that's kind of where we cut last episode. We rejoin you. The trapdoor on the floor has been closed and locked, and you were in a room with your captor. I'm going to put an image in the Roll20.
It's a vulture.
It sure is. This is actually a female bearded vulture is the kind of bird this Aarakocra is.
It's like that Pokemon I don't like.
They're actually really cool, intense birds. I have a pretty normal one here in the Roll20, but they kind of look like they are wearing eye makeup in real life. I don't know if you've ever seen this. I can do a different picture. But
Yeah.
Kind of like those albatrosses.
she has this kind of intense look about her. I'm specifically picturing, Japanese delinquents. They have like a very specific like fashion and aesthetic. She's a bird person, but she has that.
The old like long skirt with the bat.
Not just a bat. It's actually a large, what appears to be a leg bone.
Perfect.
Yes, and she's like looking at you menacingly, kind of like eyeing you.
Hey. What
Hey there.
you after then, friend? What do you want?
I thought you looked interesting.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna let you know, you're like the fourth person today to try and kidnap me. It's not gone well for any of the first three. Just letting you know up front.
Oh yeah? What happened to them?
They all ended in various states of, let's just say none of them are gonna be coming back anytime soon.
Ooh. I like the sound of that.
Sounds like you do, huh?
Yeah, so she has in one hand, she has this bone, which is like as tall as she is. And with her other hand, she like grabs you by the leg and starts dragging you across the floor. Not like hard, just like pulling you back playfully. And remember, you're a bug and she's a bird. So
Yeah, I'm aware of the
power dynamic is intense.
Vindrass is gonna summon her spiritual weapon.
All right, what form does it take?
Can I make it take the form of a whip so that I can try and get it around something to be like, you're not pulling me away anytime, try and hook it round something.
Absolutely, yeah. Why don't you make an attack on, I'll say like there's a beam for the ceiling here.
9, that's not great.
Yeah, I like. Okay, so you like summon a spectral whip and you try to whip it up to the ceiling, and I think she just like thrusts the bone up and catches it. The whip like wraps around the bone, and then she pulls you up to your feet. Like that's how like she yanks the bone back that's attached to the whip, and you were pulled like up, like against her almost, and she like hisses in your ear like, "Let's dance." Roll initiative.
Oh shit. Okay.
21.
Well, I'm rolling a straight d20, so I'm not going to beat that. 18. Where were you a minute ago, 18?
Yeah. So she has you pulled up like close to her, and then she shoves you back, and then does like a leaping strike, overhead strike with the bone to try to bring it down on you. 6, that fails. So tell me what you do.
I think Vindrass just no-sells it, just like lets it clang against the armor and just doesn't so much as flinch. That's the aim. It's just really is that how hard you're gonna hit me? That gonna do it, huh?
You used to a little pain, huh?
I'm used to people worse than you.
Show me. Show me, show me, show me.
Oh, she seems way too into this.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Why do you think she's locked up on the higher floor?
I mean, yeah, okay. Let me Google something quickly.
Uh-oh. It's like, how to deal with horny vulture at google.com.
Surprisingly, it's brought up 0 results. Who would have thunk it? I am the first person to ever Google that phrase.
Do y'all know about vultures be ruining people's houses in Florida lately? It's real great. Dude, it's like always millionaires too.
So they're just going home to roost.
Ha!
But
Right, fuck it.
Yes.
I'm gonna try casting Inflict Wounds.
All right, tell the audience about that.
That is a spell where I do a ranged spell attack, and if it hits, I do a bunch of necrotic damage. I just cause wounds to happen. Let's see if that hits.
It is exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, it just... That's a crit, that's 26.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, let's get that damage roll going.
Cut.
20 damage.
Yeah, tell me what that looks like.
So I think the way this is gonna manifest is because the Spectral Whip is the weapon Vindrass has currently got summoned, it's gonna be like a lot of little cuts across the skin as if just like lots of flicking the whip at her. Just one after another cuts start showing up on her.
Yeah, so there's like a wave of cuts somehow, like passes through the room magically and like slashes across her. And she like squeals in delight. And she says, "Magic? I didn't know you all could do magic."
There's a lot about me you don't know. You don't tend to learn a lot about someone when you just drag them through the ceiling and don't, ask their name first or whatever. Some basics that open up with some icebreaker questions,
Yeah, so it's her turn. She like leaps through the air. She takes flight for a moment and like tries to basically tackle you to the ground. And as she hits you, first of all, strength contest.
Right.
Oops, 5.
15.
So instead of tackling you, she just glomps you, and she says, "What's your name?"
Well, I mean, it's polite to share yours first, I think. You are the one who pulled me through the roof.
She says, "They call me Staples."
I mean, that's a pretty cool name.
And then she bites you. Sabrina, Khorton, and Lola, have you 3 decided anything yet?
All right, I'm gonna get down on my knee. Well, okay, I don't have to get all the way down on my knees. I'm short already. So I'm gonna put my hands on Sabrina's shoulders. I'm gonna say a thing. Listen, I have no great love for the God King. I don't give a shit about him. He's not great, but that doesn't mean that you need to feel that way. And so what I'm trying to tell you, I guess, is I'm with you because you're the one with the most stake in this. So you don't have to go with how Khorton feels or I feel. You need to go with what you feel in your gut.
Khorton just sort of looks down and takes a deep sigh. There is the other thing of, how do you expect to say no right now?
Yeah, there are 4 armed men in the room.
So Sabrina is going to look to Khorton and say, "So if I make a decision, you'll go along with it."
I mean, I will.
I don't really have a choice in the matter.
I guess what I'm going to attempt to do is turn to the pelican and attempt to cast Charm Person.
Okay, so do you have the sorcery ability to make this stealthy? Because there's a stealthy casting. Otherwise, the 4 people will see you, and then stabbing is going to start.
So I guess I just need to make clear the situation. The situation is if we say no, we're going to be attacked.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, that seems unfair.
It sure does.
Hey, Mr. Crime Boss, it seems like you are being exactly fair right now. Can I bring that to your attention?
I mean, I ain't gonna tell anybody. I ain't no snitch.
All right, then I'm going to cast a different spell. I'm going to cast Sleep on all the minions.
Like, you do realize that going the other way is snitching, right? The other choice,
That's true.
Sabrina, that is
Shush,
snitching.
they don't know that. Shush, they don't know that.
All right, I love this. So, Sabrina, roll for sleep.
So I'm going to cast at level 2, so I'm going to get a couple more dice. And I rolled a 29, which isn't that good.
It is because the 4 guards in the room are minions, so it's actually a 4th edition concept. Basically, they all have 1 HP.
Oh, okay, good. Fuck them.
So, paint me this picture, Sabrina. Basically, you're in this room. There are 4 men surrounding you with rapiers. There's the Pelican Crime Boss, and all of a sudden, 4 of them just collapse around you. What cool thing do you do?
Well, we already established that when I cast Sleep, I go... So I want to do that. And then I want to stare the pelican in the eye and say, "No, thank you. We already have a boat."
Hell yeah.
Okay, that's very cool. So the 4 guards collapse. Not only do their rapiers fall, but also the heckbow and Khorton's sword fall at your feet. The Pelican Man, of course, is like startled and takes a step back, but he doesn't lose all of his confidence. And in fact, he yells up at the ceiling, "Staples!"
Can I now cast Charm Person on him?
This is, it's disadvantage because you're now in combat.
Okay.
Staples? What's a staple?
So what he would have to do is make me a wisdom saving throw, and he has to get a 14 or better.
23.
Oh, that's pretty
I
good.
mean, yeah.
All right. So, Vindrass, right now, the Aarakocra woman Staples, the kind of vulture bird person, and I put a new image in the Roll20. Do you guys see how it looks like they have makeup on?
That's a really good image.
That's a good bird.
I'm much more interested in this character now.
Yeah. So she's basically glomped you, and then she just basically bit you like in the neck, and is trying to like wrestle with you, but not like fatally. You did a ton of damage to her. She's actually bleeding all over, but doesn't seem to care. And then you hear a voice from down below yell, "Staples!" And she like perks up, turns around, and like does a backflip off of you. Very acrobatic. She has wings, so she like does it like half flying, half jumping, and begins running. And she's like, I think she might even yell back over her shoulder, and she say, "You want to see this?"
Want to see what?
And she has already kicked open another trapdoor and leaped down with the bone held high.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, Vindrass is kind of interested at this point. She's going with her.
Mm-hmm. So Sabrina, actually, the ceiling opens up and a huge vulture one flies down and clubs you over the head with a giant bone. 8. She misses.
No, somehow, even though my AC is horrendously low, that still misses.
I wonder what happened there. Do you think maybe Khorton like picked up the sword and blocked it, or Lola?
I would like to, because that would be cool. Ooh, what if I like shot an arrow at it and knocked it away? That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I like the idea of actually, like retroactively, her giant bone club has a bunch of arrows already in it.
Oh, I love it.
It's like a delinquent's bat has nails in it.
Yeah.
That's a really cool
Very
image.
cool. I still want to blow. Pew! That's a bow noise.
So Staples drops down next to the Don, who reaches into their giant mouth pocket and pulls out a wand, which is D&D for gun.
He's got a gun!
Roll initiative.
Am I in this initiative?
All right, so first up is enemy combatants. The Dawn. This character, you don't know them as any proper name. They're just the Dawn of crime in Harp City. Points his wand at... What's the most gun-like spell? The Dawn's going to point his wand at the group and shatter all of you. So it's just like, boom! All of you, I believe that's a Constitution saving throw?
Oh, boy.
Sure.
Not you, Vindrass. You're in the top floor.
Oh,
14.
hooray.
11.
14.
The 14 save, the 11 does not.
Of course not.
13 to the failure, 6 to the success. And then Staples is going to take another swing at Sabrina. 24.
It hasn't loaded up on my screen, but that's a hit.
9 damage. She just absolutely creams you with the club. And it is, so it's Vindrass in the order, but you have to use your turn getting into the fight. So you run across the floor and jump down through the trap door?
Yeah, I jump into the middle of this beautiful mess.
Yeah, and I think the Dawn says to the group, like, I see you've met Staples. How'd that go?
I mean, she's bleeding, so, I mean...
I feel like the biggest way you could upset Staples would be to not hurt her.
Yeah, she was a street kid we took in to be an enforcer. You know how she got that name? First time she went out on patrol, stapled a guy to the ceiling.
What's a staple?
Staples looks at you and says, I'll show you.
What are they made out of? Because there's no metal anywhere, Austin.
There is metal, it's just rare and valuable.
So there's just staples around?
Sure, yeah, there's an office supply store somewhere someone raided.
Okay,
You've never played
fair.
Fallout, have you?
I've watched people play Fallout.
Okay. Lola, it's your turn.
It's my turn. I would like to shoot an arrow at the Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a ranger, and my favorite enemy is humanoids, and so because of that, I get +2 to damage rolls with my weapon attacks. And so I'm gonna shoot an arrow. Also, as a kobold, I get pack tactics, which means I get advantage on the first attack roll and make against a creature if at least one of my allies is within 5 feet of me. I crit.
Well, roll damage.
Alright. I rolled 10 damage, but it's double because I crit, right?
Yep. So I think this is great. So the Dawn's like, you don't scare me. I have my best enforcer here, and she's out of her mind, and you just shoot him right through the mouth basket.
How you like that?
Yeah. So yeah, he is absolutely infuriated by that. It's not as ton of damage, but it hurts. Sabrina, your turn.
All right, so I'm gonna take the advice of what was just said, and if the best way to deal with Staples is to not hurt her, then I'm gonna not hurt her, and I'm gonna try to put her to sleep.
I'm so proud of you. That's so good.
So I'm gonna cast sleep on her.
All right. So sleep you actually can't target. It just goes to the person with the lowest HP.
So 20.
Yeah. So one of these people is like a psychotic, dangerous barbarian, and one is a regular guy in a suit. So which one do you think falls asleep?
You tell me, buddy.
I think what happens here is the pelican guy falls forward as he falls asleep and lands on the crossbow bolt, which is Stuart's quill, still in his neck pouch, and it gets like shoved through his head.
Oh.
So unless somebody's gonna do something about that, he's gonna die.
All right, and since I cast a spell, I'm gonna give an order. I'm gonna tell Lola to attack again.
Oh God, Lola.
Okay. Sorry, I was eating a cookie.
Uh-huh.
All right, so attack the man again, or do you not?
Well, he's down on the ground, so you probably want to attack the bone lady.
And she's also a humanoid. Crit.
Holy shit, Lola.
Lola has that strong. No, it's only 8 damage because I rolled a 4.
Yeah, it's not a lot of damage. So this fight, she still has health left, but this fight's over. What happens is you shoot the Dawn in the throat, and then Sabrina makes him fall asleep, so he lands on it, shoving the bolt all the way through his throat. as he falls over on it. And then you turn and you shoot Staples, I think, like, through the gut, and you actually pin her. Is this a real use of irony? Ironically, against the wall.
Like a bug. And they pin him in the wall.
Yeah. So she is stuck on the wall, but she's bleeding from her stomach and like bleeding from her mouth, and she seems psyched about it. She like reaches down, runs her hand through the blood, and then like spreads it across her eyes like makeup.
Okay.
So is the pelican guy like behind a desk or something?
No, this is explicitly not his office. This was like a fish freezer.
I want to roll medicine to keep him from dying. I don't need him to like. I'm trying to like make him whole again. But I don't think I'm be like. At least I'm not gonna kill you.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled an 18.
Yeah. So tell me what you do.
All right. So I'm gonna go over, flip and flop him over, pull the quills out, and just like go. I don't know, whatever's similar in tech. Maybe I was gonna say I take one of his feathers and use it to stop the bleeding.
So you just like rip a bunch of his hair out and jam it in the wound?
Because I ain't got no gauze. I'm gonna turn to Staples. I think we're done here. I'm doing y'all a service by keeping him from dying. Please tell him that when he wakes up. And, we can just go our separate ways. We don't need to confront each other again.
No, we do. Because this is the smuggling ring, and we have to turn them into Marcel.
I'm trying to get out of here with the least amount of trouble.
So Khorton has pulled out his notebook and his quill, and he's quickly jotting out notes to the minions saying, hey, listen, didn't do a great job, but there is a place for you.
Okay, interesting. So you're going to try to convert what's left of this smuggling ring into your followers?
Yes.
All right, roll persuasion.
Okay.
To double make sure everyone is on the same page here. All of the gang members in the room are unconscious, but there are still some outside.
Oh, that's important to know.
Yeah.
Okay, see, that's what I was about to be like, let's carry
Oh my
him
god,
outside.
what the fuck? Why do I keep botching? This is ridiculous.
You will never grow your cult.
Roll20 is not a fan of your sex
It
cult.
has just not been good. Well, all right. They're never joining.
The Chronicles of Crit Botch continue.
I actually like this because, I mean, the dice help us tell the story, and this could have been a season about Khorton successfully doing this, but I think it falling apart all around him is also very compelling.
It's very rapidly, yeah. My god.
So, Khorton, you begin slipping notes under the door to the remaining gang members, asking them to join your cult, and there's no immediate response, but you begin hearing movement outside. People are forming up on the door. They're like doing SWAT tactics to murk you if you try to leave this freezer. And right now, Staples is still stapled to the wall, and she says, y'all are fucked. This is so good.
Hey, Staples? You don't seem like you're the kind of person who'd have a lot of fun stuck up there on the wall. Wouldn't you have more fun helping us fight our way out of this? Doesn't that seem like a more fun use of your time?
It depends. How often do you have days like this?
Every day's like this.
A lot. It happens more often than you would think.
We have been traveling for 4 days. Every day has been like this.
Also, you seem pretty horny, and that's like their whole deal.
And that's the thing, though. Like, you'd think everybody's horny. This would not be so hard.
See, the first thing I told you was that I've been kidnapped like 4 times today. This is just what we do. Go on.
Staples like braces the bone up against the wall and like pushes herself off of the quill, like pulls up, like there's no back on it, right? Because it's not an arrow. And like pulls herself through it, and then just like looks down at the wound and smiles, and she says, "It's 20-5. I think if we each take 4, we can get out of here."
Hell yeah, we can.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's cause some trouble.
All right. So here, instead of doing a 20-person combat, I want each of you to tell me the specific thing you do, and then we'll do a custom roll to see how well you do. So here's the situation. The 5 of you are trapped in a freezer. There are 5 unconscious bodies, counting the Don. Outside are 20 shrikes with rapiers. What do you do?
For me, I want to like rapid fire. Not have instead of having Stewart go in for the second attack. I just want to like pew 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 my 4 like machine gun style, but with porcupine quills.
All right, that's just a ranged attack then.
Do 2? That's right, because 2. They're both 21.
All right, so that's Lola. We'll paint the whole picture after everyone's decided what they're doing.
Vindrass is going to pop an enhance ability
Mm-hmm.
in order to get advantage on that strength. And I think her plan is to literally just have the axe baloney and just full on like shoulder charge at the crowd. Just full force, as strong as possible, try and take a big smack at the group.
Your new girlfriend's gonna love that.
Yeah, I think that'll go over well.
Okay, so you're tanking in the MMO sense. So what they're going to do is they're going to attack your AC. That seems like the best way to measure this.
Yeah.
So here's 2 attacks against your AC, 12 and 13.
Neither of those comes close.
All right, so the rapiers impact your armor and shatter.
Huzzah.
I guess to fit with the theme that we're all actually doing cool things.
Hey, you be as terrible and not cool as you want, Chris.
Because part of me was like, I could just cast invisibility and sneak out. I mean, it's, but
Is that what the wife wolf, the hero of this team, would do?
You said wife wolf, which is an entirely different season, I think.
Is that what the white wolf would do?
I'm gonna cast sleep. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to kill these people. So I'm just gonna cast.
How many of these
sleep
motherfucking things do you have, bro?
Well, I've used 5 out of my 7 spell slots so far, and I think 3 of them have been on sleep so far. So,
Yikes! There's a lot more of this arc to
I
go.
got a couple more. Hey, you know what? Shut up! don't tell me that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast sleep, and I'm gonna make all of them go to sleep.
Yeah. So I mean, this roll almost certainly succeeds, but go ahead if you want to.
14, so very low numbers, but
Against 4 people, each with 1 health, though. So, Khorton,
hot dog.
Khorton, what do you do?
Okay, so Khorton's going to cast Calm Emotions.
Oh my god.
All right, read that for the audience.
So, you attempt to suppress strong emotions in a group of people. This is how he gets out of a lot of problems, I suspect. Each humanoid in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose must make a charisma saving throw. They can choose to fail if they wish, and if they fail, I get to choose from 1 of 2 effects. The one that matters here is that I can make them indifferent about creatures of my choice that it's hostile towards, i.e. us.
All right, charisma saving throw, 20.
Jesus fucking Christ. What? Fuck you, Roll20. And this is personal. I'm taking this personally. So yeah, they're still pissed.
All right, so paint me this picture to you, all 4 of you doing this, because you're locked in this room. How do you exit, and how does this all go down?
Vindrass, do you like bust through the door? Because that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think if I'm going to try and tank this, I think it's, let's assume the door swings out and Vindrass is literally just charge, kick the door, swing right into the group.
Yeah, and so the first wave of attackers start stabbing Vindrass, but they're no match for your armor. They leave themselves open. Lola, you just start headshotting fools.
I want to do the like spy roll out.
Yeah.
And then like catch myself on my knee and then pew 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 pew.
You basically just John Wick all these birds.
Yes, 100%.
Behind you, Sabrina peeks out and she just waves her hand and 4 of them fall unconscious. Just boop, just like knocking over bowling pins. And then Khorton walks out, arms spread.
He's like, hey, come on. We could work this out, right?
4 rapiers to the guts. 12, 19, 9, 8.
12, 19. Well, I mean, Khorton is fucking wrecked. The 12 and the 19 both hit, yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's 19 damage.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's unconscious Khorton.
Oops.
All right, Khorton, this is a culmination of all your attempts to use your charisma in this arc. What kind of injury do you take here?
Because it does have to be kind of cool, right?
It doesn't have to. It can be really lame, and that could be cool.
No, it does. It does. I mean, but but lame yeah, no, it's, you know what I mean. Like some thought has to be put into it.
What if it gave you a giant penis-shaped scar?
Like right over your abs.
You know, if you, from a certain perspective, like if you have a well-defined set of pectoral muscles and really well-defined abs, it does I mean, am I not?
I just had the worst thought. Oh, God.
Does the torso not kind of already resemble glands and...
What if there were little lines coming out of it like it was splooged?
No.
Yeah.
Why not, Austin?
Now imagine a V-neck shirt, right? No, I want to do something that actually, he's gonna lose his nose.
Oh, shit.
Wait, for real? Like the Sphinx?
Yeah.
That means you'll be even more legendary, though.
That's so brutal.
Fucking Peter Dinklage didn't have what it took to go through that, man. I applaud you.
Thank you. Yeah, Khorton's gonna lose his nose.
Khorton is taking such a turn this episode.
Like full nose or like nose tip or like...
No, I mean, like, he has no nose now.
Aw.
Like, flat cartilage.
Oh my
Open and-
god.
Aw.
Skeletor shit going on that nose.
You should get it. Your card. No, you can't tattoo cartilage.
That's so brutal. Okay, so a rapier comes in from the side, like goes through the nose and just takes it off
Whew!
on the plunge. You go down, hands on your face, and then the last person out of the freezer is Staples, who caves that person's skull in, down into their body. Like their head ends up in their chest cavity when she brings the bone down.
Do we know anybody who knows how to sew? And then maybe we can take. We're gonna take one of these beaks, right? Because they're already dead, and then we're gonna attach your beak, that beak as your new nose.
know mending, and this is a break or tear that is less than 1 foot in dimension.
That cannot be the use of that spell.
Probably
Yes,
not, but...
bird beak, Khorton with the beak.
If I hold on to his nose and just cast Ray of Frost into it, it's kind of like keeping it on ice, so we should still have time to reattach it.
Can we freeze a bird beak onto where his nose used to be?
Okay, so a lot of things are going on right now. The issue is there are still 4 combatants, Khorton's people he didn't take down. So here's what I want. Vindrass, you're trying to help him. Why don't you roll medicine? And then Sabrina or Lola, tell me if you're gonna keep fighting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot.
Yeah, shoot
Again.
more.
Oh, that's a 7 on medicine.
Oh
no.
no.
I got a 16 and a botch.
Oh no.
Oh,
Does the 16 hit?
Okay, so here's what happens. The first thing is Lola shoots another guy square in the face. He dies. And then she tries to shoot another person. And what do you do with your botch? Do you have a good idea? Usually I just have you shoot a teammate, but you've been doing that a lot. Do you have a new idea for your botch?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Shoot Khorton again. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I trip and I shoot my foot. But I mean, if you really want me to shoot you, I can.
I mean, that's okay. So you're doing all this John Wick shit. You're very cool. And then at the end, you do like a cool...
I trip over my overalls.
Yeah, you do like a cool roll and you end up just shooting yourself in the foot. So roll damage on yourself. Vindrass, you rush over to try to help Khorton, and with your 7 on medicine, you cannot reattach the nose, and in
Yeah.
fact, you know that this is a permanent injury, and
Yeah.
Khorton's gonna have to reassess some things about his life and feelings.
yeah, that was as... It may not sound as bad as a 7, but with a plus mind modifier, that was as close to a botch as it could have been.
Well, yeah, because it was to my benefit.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
right, yeah.
Staples, take a beak just in case.
Do you want to roleplay this? I feel like this is a big moment. It's like you're holding his bloody body. It's like a war movie, and you're like, "Don't go into the light, Khorton." Like, what do you two say to each other?
Hey, Khorton, it's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay. You're doing all right. You doing okay?
How's it look?
Hey, you're still the most beautiful person in this fucking room.
Oh.
Right, but how's it look?
It is a sexy as hell battle scar. This is going to go down in your legend. This is the battle that will be remembered.
How do I clear my sinuses?
With increased difficulty.
Khorton like passes out in your arms, and you see Staples crushes another guy with her club, and then she turns to you, Vindrass, and says, "Why don't you use that cool cutting spell on these guys? Come on, get us out of here."
Yeah, in a moment of a lot of anger, Vindrass is going to throw out another of those inflict wounds.
And so it's like a wave of cutting. It's like a very like metaphysical concept, right? It's like instead of a fireball, it's like the concept of cutting flies across the fish market and just tears the remaining shrikes to pieces.
Woo! Go Vindrass! Good job.
Vindrass at this moment is going to pick Khorton up and start trying to use healing magic on him while just starting to carry him right out of here.
But yeah, what do you all talk about as you walk across the city? So there's this like war zone that you're leaving. There's just dead people everywhere. This fish market's destroyed. You've left a wave of corpses in your wake. And you're all walking. People are, running and screaming, trying to go get guards. What do you all like talk about or do as you recollect yourselves?
Well, that went a little wilder than I planned, but it went okay, other than the nose.
I was gone for a couple of minutes. You all got into some real shit, huh?
Someone didn't want to take a free boat.
That really is what happened.
I'm sorry that somebody didn't agree.
So I don't know what the solution is, but we need some kind of Vindrass getting kidnapped alert system, because apparently I cannot leave the room. Leaving the room is bad things happen when I leave you all unattended.
Let's stop by the whistle store on the way. Can I carve? Do I know how to whittle?
Get a nice little bell to put around my wrist or something,
I don't know how to whittle. I was going to try to whittle a whistle, but I don't have that skill.
Oh, everybody can whittle.
A whistle? Whittle a whistle?
Everybody can whittle.
Whittle a whistle?
Commence the whittling.
What's the role for riddling? Is that sleight of hand?
Riddling isn't something you really should just be giving to any kid. So
Yeah. Okay, we've lost the plot. So basically, Vindrass, what happened was you were kidnapped. We were talking to the mob peoples. They wanted us to plant some evidence on the other people, the Goo Boy and Young. And Khorton wanted to do that, and I see why. And I said I didn't feel right doing that if Sabrina didn't feel like doing that, because she has a personal stake. And I stuck to that. And then we got in trouble because we said no. And then you were there about after that.
Yeah. Also, Staples, you still around?
I don't know if birds can chew bubblegum, but I like to think Staples pops some bubblegum in her beak. It like blows a big bubble. It pops, and then she says, "Should have taken the boat."
What if she has pop rocks, and every time she opens her mouth, it's like...
Okay. No, there are no bad ideas in brainstorming, Lauren. Chris?
Yeah.
What's up, bud? Sabrina just saw like 20 dead bodies.
Yeah. We'll handle that later.
Sabrina, what are you doing as you walk? Are you just quiet?
Yeah, I think she's kind of quiet, and she's like feeding Christian Snail. She seems pretty on edge. But I think she's trying to walk faster than everybody else.
So at some point you're intercepted by guards because you all were walking away from the site of a large massacre. And you're brought back to Marcel's office, and he is not there, but Zur is. And Zur is very excited and anxious to see you. And he also sees the giant bird person who's with you, which puts him on edge. Khorton, are you still high? No, you're like half conscious.
I'm pretty sure getting your nose cuts off will kill your high.
Hopefully it's at the very least dulling a little of the pain.
God, one can hope.
So Zur says, so I heard you got into a bit of trouble.
Yeah, you could say that. Do you know anyone who's good with noses?
He don't got one no more.
Yes, I know. I don't have a nose.
Oh no. Zur says, I don't know about noses. I don't know any nosologists or nosographers, but maybe a cool mask, maybe a cool bandana, maybe
cool it.
We could do something with your look, man. You don't have to walk around like that.
Hey.
Jesus.
He is a beautiful man who is just going to have a little bit of nasal problems now. That's purely why I'm asking about the nose thing, is if we can help with the sinus clearing.
I mean, are the holes still? The nostrils are still there, so I feel like a neti pot would still work, right?
Zur says, let's not focus on the holes right now.
I'm always focused on the holes, Zur.
Stop thinking about the holes, Lola.
I mean, if I'm honest, I'm pretty much always focused on the holes, too.
Vindrass, do you want to take him into another room?
Sure.
Yeah, don't take your girlfriend, too. I think she might eat me.
Staple says, no, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna steal some stuff. Bye.
Oh, okay, have fun. I'd love to steal me something extra.
She just starts walking around Marcel's office. He needs to stop letting you all in here.
He does.
Vindrass is going to point out to Khorton that she thinks that Staples might be a convert to the cult if you promise that there might be some light hitting involved.
Oh no. Zur says to Lola and Sabrina, we got all the deals worked out. We're going to get shipments to the Glass Forest. Everything's working out. It's all good. What a great day. Thank you so much.
I really, I doubt their commitment to sparkle motion.
Zur says, Sabrina, you okay?
I'm fine. I'm glad that you'll get your supplies. I just need. Is my brother here to finalize everything?
No, he went out. He had someone to talk to. He said he'd be right back.
Uh-oh. I don't like that.
In the meantime, do you want what Diana gave me to give to you?
I guess. Yeah.
So now the deal's complete. So Zur pulls out a scroll. It is a scroll which can cast the spell Legend Lore. I will now read to you what that does. Name or describe a person, place, or object. The spell brings to your mind a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing you named.
Oh.
So you came to the Bat folk and asked about your mother, and they said if you set up a trade route, they'd give you information you need to find her. Here is a spell which you can tell it a name, and it will tell you everything it knows.
I will take the scroll, and I'm going to say, "Do you mind if I have a moment? I need to go to the restroom."
Ask the scroll where Khorton can get a new nose.
Zur says, "Yeah, sure, whatever you need. Yeah,
Cool.
I'll be here."
So Sabrina's gonna go off. She's going to find somewhere private where she can lock the door. And she is just going to sob.
Oh no, comedy podcast.
Yeah.
Sad baby.
Because she feels really bad about Khorton.
Yeah, that was quite an interesting build-up too, because you were like screaming at each other. It's like, I don't need you. Yeah, why are we even doing this? And now it's like, oh god, no, what have I done?
I guess, I'm just bandaging my foot. Hey, Zur, look, I shot myself.
Why'd you do that?
Oh, I tripped over my pants. I got a little overexcited there.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna roll hit dice also.
So, Lola, are you going to keep traveling with these weirdos?
I want to be there for Sabrina. I don't think the other two are, necessarily out to get her or hurt her, but,
It really seems like you have some kind of personal attachment to this character you've barely met, huh? Some kind of past prior relationship of some nature, mayhaps?
Or maybe I just have sympathy for a young'un who doesn't know how to use their powers fully.
So yeah, I mean, right now, Young is going to give you all a salt skiff to travel across to Wormwood, and everyone else's mission is pretty clear. Sabrina wants to find your mom. Khorton and Vindrass are going to try to, if not actually build a real cult, at least something cult-like. But Lola's motivations are secret, and so Zur is like trying to suss out what you're even doing.
At this stage in my life, my whole plan is, I want to travel to wherever I can, see new locations, not no locations, because that'd be pointless. But new locations, meet some new animal friends. That's why I've been out and about. Now, I can also do that while helping, trying to guide young Sabrina. I don't really have any deeper motivation than that. I'm just, I don't know, out here experiencing the world.
Skiff seems pretty small. How many pets do you think you can fit?
I mean, a lot. There's tiny frogs. There's tiny dogs. There's tiny hogs. There's little like chipmunks and shit. They don't all gotta be big, and they don't all gotta come with me either. We can just meet and enjoy each other's company. You ever tried talking to animals? It's real fun.
Well, you're bringing the mantis, and then you're bringing the bird. I don't know if there's room in your group for me. You know what I'm saying?
Couldn't you could we put like a pole up and you can like sit on it or something? Get like a double. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
No, I just mean that we could do a double decker.
This is really not getting better. I just want to.
It's not gonna. No.
This is not helping on your whole "I'm nothing like the two horny ones" bit of the
I've been
whole
corrupted.
Deal.
Oh no. I don't know. I mean, you don't gotta come with us if you don't want to, but even though you did just like attack me, it was for Sabrina. She thought I would do something bad. And so that I do respect, because I'm no mother, but I'm no mother, I'm no father, I'm not even an aunt or an uncle or a cousin. But I don't know, she's got a fucked up dad. She don't know where her mom is. She's really strong. Somebody needs to be there to support her, right? For reasons other than like wanting to join a horny cult.
So I'm asking you, Lauren, now, I guess. Do you want Zur in the party?
Yes, I would like Zur in the party.
Okay. So it looks like you've recruited Zur, Staples, and Young.
That's probably it, huh?
I was really hoping, once again, this is my foolish pattern I keep repeating, it would be either Young or Staples and not both, but this is a classic courage or objectivist scenario I've backed myself into.
I mean, you'd have a hard time convincing Vindrass to not have Staples come on the journey now, because she's bought in.
Yeah.
I mean, also, plus, if you think about it, they can take turns riding in the skiff, and then they both can fly. So for half the day, one of them gets to sit in the skiff, and the other has to fly, and then they swap out. Plus, then it's like we have two scouts. Boom.
Vindrass, I think at a certain point you help get Khorton's pain under control, and he takes a brief nap, and Staples pulls you aside, and she says, "You never told me where you got your magic. They told us that bugs can't do magic."
Oh, from Khorton. He's wonderful. His whole deal is he's a wonderful healing man of many wonderful adventures. He's a man of many stories, and I thank him every time that I'm able to use magic.
Listen, Beefcake, I don't know if you noticed, but you were still casting spells when he was unconscious.
I mean, that's just how potent and magical his source of magic is. He just emanates it.
She looks extremely skeptical. I don't know how seriously you take this, but it's not ambiguous at this point that she does not think that's what's happening.
I'll put it this way. For Vindrass, she has no better explanation as to where it's come from, and it has been a thing in the time that she's been devoted to Khorton, and it wasn't really before, and it makes sense to her.
Mm-hmm.
The specifics are unimportant, the timing makes sense, and it feels right to her.
Okay. But Staples has raised the specter of your magic not coming from Khorton, so maybe have that in the back of your mind at some point. Sabrina, do you ever stop crying?
Absolutely. It's not that long. It's a moment to let it out, and then she steals herself back out. And if her
We've all been there for the 2-minute bathroom cry.
Yeah. And if her brother's not back yet, I mean, she's going to cast a spell.
All right, yeah. So the way this scroll works, some scrolls, if you're like a wizard, you add it to your spell book and you have it forever. This one, you like set the paper on fire and it casts once and then it is gone forever. So do you grab
Can I
it?
freeze it and it shatters afterwards?
Of course.
Yeah.
So normally this all happens in your mind, but if you want, we can like reflavor the spell so everyone can be gathered together and get the lore together, or do you just want it by yourself?
I think Sabrina wants it by herself, as she's mentally like, because here's the thing, it says to name or describe a person, place, or object, but I don't know if she knows her mom's name. So I like to think that the way she gets the spell to work is by channeling all of the memories she can have of her mom.
Aww.
Which probably aren't very complete.
So where do you go? Do you just go into Marcel's room for privacy?
Yes.
Okay. So you, so tell me, So paint me the picture of you casting this spell.
So I want the spell to, like, the scroll to kind of be hovering in front of Sabrina as she's channeling through these memories. And from the bottom of the scroll, you could start seeing ice crawling up the scroll, like crawling frost, essentially, as she's pulling through these memories more and more. And then finally it reached the top and just shatters into pieces.
All right. And so, Sabrina, you were hit by a rush of knowledge. I think you were like maybe magically like picked up off the floor and you like your eyes glow and like all the furniture starts shaking. It's like a powerful, I think, 5th level spell.
Yeah.
So a lot happens. The first thing you know is your mother's name. Her name is Frida, Fryda.
That's good to know.
Frida Wolfram. She is a kind of genasi that is often referred to as a vacuum genasi, also known as a void genasi.
Aw.
Well, that sounds really cool.
Dope.
Vacuum is a combination of air and negative. For those keeping track of the genetics of this season, not real genetics, D&D genetics. But Frida Wolfram is a void genasi, and she has power over like the absence of matter, like vacuums and voids, like black holes, basically. So the consorts of God King Wolfram, after each one failed to produce an heir with a conduit, was exiled from the castle, and they all went off into the Wormwood Wasteland, basically to fend for themselves. At some point, the ex-wives, the consorts, decided to join a rebellion. Not all of them. Some of them joined a rebellion against the God King, which was crushed. You learned about this because this is what happened to Marcel's mother.
Was this connected to the Aethar? Is that the same revolution?
The Aethar was the Aethar was the rebellious faction that tried to overthrow the God King in the backstory. But your mother did not join this rebellion. She saw them and thought that this whole thing was ridiculous and there was no future for her or you in this current climate. So she left the castle on an adventure of her own. In a way, you leaving kind of mirrors her adventure. You like see images of her walking across the wasteland with like a bandana across her mouth, like a sword on her hip. She's going on an adventure much like you did. Just kind of going off into the wastes like a heroic adventurer from one of your books. She crossed through the glassed forest. She went to Harp City. But at some point, some kind of magic prevents you from seeing all the details. She maybe came into possession of some kind of magic which could hide her location from people trying to find her, presumably the God King, so that she couldn't easily be like located and captured or killed. But you do know what she was looking for on this adventure. There are two things your mother was after. One is another person with a conduit who could either overthrow the God King successfully, unlike the Aethar, or at least make her life better, because the God King sucks. And she doesn't want to just be another scavenger in the wasteland. She wants a nice life, for presumably, Sabrina as well. So she's looking for someone just as powerful as the God King to join up with. The other thing she was looking for was something she read about in the God King's library, which was a piece of another world, which is rumored to be somewhere in Wormwood.
A piece of another world. Interesting.
I hope it's the Witchlight. It probably isn't, but I miss that guy.
So yeah, she read in like a forbidden book in his library about that the basically the backstory of the apocalypse, which none of you really have a great understanding of in character, but the idea that there were many worlds and they all crashed into each other, and the world that exists is a combination of them, and somewhere out there is an untouched piece that could give her a different life.
Did I see any images to suggest where she might have gone after Harp City? Like any sign that said like spa or Gorefields?
So Harp City is where she found the magic which could disguise her movements. So you don't see where she left for. But I think you do see some of her research, which is that she has reason to believe that the two things she's looking for are in those two places. There is the rumors of a conduit who has tried to take over the Gorefields, tried to assault and take it from the God King and make it their land. And there is rumors that the reason the spa is able to exist in the post-apocalyptic wasteland is because there's a piece of another world there that makes it so idyllic.
All right, that's good to know.
Do you have any more specific questions about her?
Does she at any point seem to still be wearing the necklace?
No, she gave you the necklace before she left.
Okay. Did she seem happy?
I think she reminds you of yourself, which is to say, excited about the prospect of adventure, but also terrified and lonely.
Did she have any friends?
She was also traveling with an animal befriending lizard and some horny people.
Not to your knowledge, no.
Oh, I have to find her fast because she needs friends.
Mm-hmm. So that's what you know. Your mother is Frida Wolfram. She escaped from the castle to go on her own adventure. She's looking for someone or something that can give her a better life than either being the consort to a cruel man or a scavenger in a wasteland. And she researched these two possibilities and has leads in the two main locations on the map you haven't gone to.
Okay. Dopeness.
And so the spell wears off and you float back down to the ground.
All right, I'm going to head out. See if Marcel's there.
All right, so Sabrina, you go downstairs and rejoin the group. Everyone's together. Before we move on to the next thing, Khorton, are you going to do anything to augment your look? Do you want a cool mask, or do you want some kind of thing, or are you just letting all the nose out?
He's going to take to wearing a veil.
What kind of veil? Like a little one? Was it a matanza or like a bridal veil?
Just a simple white veil. He already has a hood to go with his cloak, so it would just be an eyes exposed thing at any point. Otherwise,
well, that's very mysterious.
He's just adding to the mystique of his legend.
Yeah, but it's also like flat on his face, and so somewhat unsettling.
You can tell there's no nose.
Yeah, you can see that there's no nose. You just can't see that there's no nose.
So after the party regroups, everyone is healed from the hit dice, but we have not long rested, so spell slots don't come back. The party regroups and kind of waits for Sabrina to fill them in. Before Marcel comes back into the room, where do you all want to go next? I just want to get that locked in.
So Sabrina is going to see the rest of the party, and she's going to say, I got the gift that the Batfolk gave us, and I've decided we're going to the Gore Fields.
Okay. Have you used the gift yet? Because it would be really useful to ask about noses. Or have you used that up yet?
I don't think it helps you find noses.
I don't know. Have you asked it about noses?
How would you even attach the nose? You'd have to sew it on and there'd still be a scar. I'm just saying.
I mean, scars are hot.
Vindrass, there's not going to be a nose. What's in the Gorefields, child?
My mother's looking for somebody with power. Somebody that has that gift thing that my father wants all the kids to have. So I'm going to go and find whoever has one and find out how I'm supposed to have one.
Okay. I feel like you probably like the sound of the Gorefield, Staples.
Yeah, Staples looks absolutely giddy at the prospects and says, "Oh, I've heard stories. I can't wait." And you see, like, she has, like, since the last time you saw her, Lola, she has taken to using the blood from her stomach wound to just paint, like, pictures all over her body.
Well, that one's off her rocker, but good for her. She's having a great time.
It's the closest that Vindrass and Khorton have come to pulling someone into the fold, so, like, Vindrass is happy.
She says, when we get on the road, ask me why they call it the Gorefields.
Well, why can't you just tell us now?
Yeah, I'd rather know now before we set off in the direction of the Gorefields and discover it's horrible.
You kids these days and your instant satisfaction, you have to wait for it. It makes it better.
I mean,
all right,
she's a vulture. It's a Gorefields. Of course, it's gonna be a place she likes.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the name.
Yeah, Staples is down. She wants to see the Gorefields, and Zur just feels indebted to the group for helping the Batfolk with supplies and basically letting them join civilization and not being shunned. So, and also, Young wants to see the world. Young isn't here right now. We'll get to them momentarily because right now, the doors fly open and Marcel marches in, and he looks agitated.
Well, hey there, Marcel. Why you look so agitated?
Don't you hi there, Marcel, me.
What did I do?
More like, what does Sabrina do?
She didn't do anything.
What do you mean?
You told me when you came here that you were being escorted by Gentleman Branwell.
He's somewhere, I'm sure.
Oh, is that true?
Yes.
It hurts my feelings that you'd lie to me. I thought we were closer than that.
I just helped you arrest the big smuggling ring in the city.
And that's why I'm here without guards.
What are you talking about?
I just went to send a message to Gentleman Bramwell. I assumed you were somewhere in the city, and I had a psychic send him a message, cast the spell message, and send him just a little how you do. And I find out he's in the castle.
Oh, he's supposed to be back tomorrow. He must have he forgot his keys. The oven was on, and he had to feed his cactus, so he'll be back tomorrow.
The dog had to go out.
I get to roll a deception and trick him, right?
Marcel says, Sabrina, if you lie to me again, we're done. Do you understand?
Fine.
Now, what is going on?
I'm trying to find my mother. I don't want to be in the castle anymore.
I know the castle sucks, but it's not any better out here.
I haven't been bullied since I left.
No, you've just been involved in a massacre. Is that better?
The Batfolk now have supplies, so it's good.
I don't think he says anything. I think he just shoots you a look that's like, okay, there's a Batfolk in the room, so I'm not going to say something explicitly racist, but it's like, he gives you a look like, who gives a shit, basically.
And I know more about conduits, too.
It's all dangerous knowledge. Why would you want any of this?
Because if we're supposed to have it, then we should have it. And then Father wouldn't need to keep sending our mothers away to die.
And what do you think finding her is going to accomplish? So you can die together?
No. I'll have a conduit, and then we can change things.
You're 10.
And you're stupid.
That's why she's got chaperones.
Really? 10? She's 10.
10 and a
I'd
half.
have taken her for 14, 15
No one
easy.
asked you, Mole.
Marcel, I want you to apologize to my friends.
I want you to go home.
Sure. Well, no, I'm not going to. I told you I wouldn't lie. I'm not going home. I'm finding my mother. And if I'm lucky, I can find yours too.
I'm not sure it's up to you anymore, Sabrina.
Is it supposed to be up to you?
What do you mean?
The castle is on its way.
I thought I could trust you.
It was gonna be a really nice boat. As Khorton elbows Vindrass.
Marcel says, and I thought I could trust you. And now look at us both, looking very stupid and foolish.
There's a bunch of us here. They already hate, like, all of us anyway, because we're not the right kind of people. Why you gotta give him Sabrina? We can just, like, rough you up and we can fucking go. You don't gotta do this.
I'm not doing this. If you hadn't
You
lied
could
to me,
let us go.
if you hadn't lied to me about Gentleman Bramwell, I wouldn't have sent a message. Now he knows. The castle's on its way. I can't do anything to stop it.
Listen, I'm not telling you that you gotta try and stop the castle. But you not stopping the castle doesn't mean you gotta stop us. You can just not stop anybody.
Yeah, we could just get on our boat and get going, and that's that.
Or are you just gonna do whatever you're told like you always have?
You got overpowered by us, the very strong bodyguards.
Marcel says, Young's waiting down at the stables. He could only get two mounts for the skiff.
Alright, well, then maybe we should be on our way.
You could work with us, Marcel.
I tried to stop you, but you outnumbered me. I went down valiantly.
Alright, well, good looking out, homie.
He casts Magic Missile,
Whoa.
which never misses. So, everybody so Khorton, Vindrass, and Lola each take 2 damage as from his hand ejects a small streaking projectile, just a magical kind of force bullet, and they all hit you. They don't hurt particularly bad, but if someone does like magical CSI on this scene, they'll see that he fought back.
I'm gonna shoot some of Stuart's quills into a bunch of the walls and like his desk and stuff.
All right, yeah, tell me what you all do.
Can we like open drawers and fucking like throw them across the room like it's a robbery?
Just because it seems like fun, and this is the only chance she's gonna get, Vindrass is just gonna axe Baloney into like a nice fancy looking wardrobe. Just give it a good smack.
Stuart's gonna chew on all the upholstery.
Make a big dent into it.
Khorton's gonna lift his veil and blow all of the like built up old blood and mucus
Oh god.
from his nasal cavity
Oh god.
into the scene.
Sabrina's just going to run up and hug Marcel around the legs.
Oh.
Yeah, he puts a hand on top of your head and like ruffles your hair and says, I'm sorry we couldn't be honest with each other. That would have been nice, wouldn't it?
We can do it next time. When I see you, and I'll have a conduit.
That'll be nice. And then I think Staples picks him up and chucks him through a window.
Staples, calm down.
She says, I helped! And then she runs out of the building.
I kind of love Staples, I'm gonna be real.
What's not to love?
I think as the party begins running to the stables, you see Young, the Orchid Mantis, is tending to two
What are they?
creatures, quadrupeds, who are going to pull the skiff. So the skiff has a sail and it has wheels. So it can go if there's a strong wind or if it's pushed or something. But also people use, like the equivalent of horses to pull it. Of course, this is Dark Sun. And so the skiff is pulled by some very strange animals. I'm going to call them shark horses.
Awesome. Oh, are they bullets?
No. So that's a land shark, which is a different thing. What you're talking about, bullets, are kind of things that like go through the sand like sharks and then jump out and eat people.
Can we get bullets at some point?
Sure. But
Awesome.
these look like horses. They're like from a distance, they look exactly like horses. And you get close and you see they have 10,000 razor sharp teeth and they have a fin on their back.
Nice.
Yeah, that is exactly what a shark horse would be.
I would like to go up to both of them and use my primeval awareness, which means I can talk to animals through sounds and gestures. I just want to be like, hey, y'all. Thank you for doing this. We know it's a tough job.
So
you have
can
any snacks
talk
you
with
prefer? I can't talk, but I can communicate simple ideas like thank you, and are you hungry, and do you want a snack?
Yeah, and they communicate back to you, presumably.
Yeah, so I can learn like their emotional state and if they need anything and stuff.
Yeah, they communicate to you two simple ideas, and they are blood and oats.
Oh, blood oats. I'll work on that later, little guys. Ooh, can I just like, hey, Staples, let them lick your tummy.
Yeah, I think Staples is that kind of pervert.
Yeah. All right.
So I guess I assume it's kind of almost like a chase because we're trying to run to these boats, right?
Absolutely,
Before,
yes.
More guards show up.
Yep.
So as we get near to the boats, I want to yell out, "First Mate Young, ready the romance dawn!" You can't take it away from me now, Austin. That's the name of the ship. Fuck you.
It's canon now. You said it. I can't edit it out.
The romance down.
Vindrass and Khorton have no problem with that name. I'm pretty confident.
That one's
Yeah.
fine. Totally fine. In fact, out of all of the decisions that Sabrina has made without including anybody else, this is Khorton's favorite.
Yeah, agreed for Vindrass. This is a great name choice.
So Young hoists the sails, and the shark horses take off, pulling the skiff through Harp City towards the gore fields in the distance.
Do
And
they
it's gonna
neigh?
be yeah.
Do the shark horses neigh?
Unless you can think of a more interesting noise they can make. What's a shark version of a neigh?
Would it be like a bubbly neigh? Like a bleep, 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 bleep.
Exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And they start taking off at full speed. The gore fields are more than a day's travel. So once again, if you fall asleep on the salt, you don't wake up. So luckily you have a skiff to sleep in. We'll see how that lasts, because as you leave the city limits, you see something looming in the distance.
Is it a tremor?
Is it trouble?
This shape looks like a mountain, but it's coming towards you.
We go the other way, hopefully.
I rolled perception and I got a 22. Can I perceive it?
Yeah, Lola. So I just assume you just clamber up the mast and look out over the crow's nest?
Yes. Or maybe Zer picks me up and flies me over it.
Yeah, perception buddies. He's a scout. He can swoop down, pick you up, and take you closer to the thing. You see, as it breaks through some cloud cover, what is coming towards the Romance Dawn is a castle.
Oh God! It's a whole castle.